We are in the headquarters for COO BIZ record label with my man Dash, my man Siamese, Richie Panelli, and Metaphysical. I'm excited to be here. We got, got my big bro over here. This cat right here was a original member of Element, toured with Digital Underground, CEO of COO BIZ Entertainment Records. Got some big projects. He did 3 smacking songs on the art department with Richie Panelli and myself. Let's see what he got. What was it?
3 of my favorites: Safe Water, Hush 96, Booby Trap.
Yeah.
A lot of people have heard the album say that's their, one of those is one of their favorite songs quite often, and that we've been told.
The art department recently dropped on December 15th, out on all platforms. And like I said, Dash produced 3 tracks on there, and my man Siamese over here, he was on that track Flow. He's also a solo artist. He's been on multiple Element albums, every Element album.
He's on Hush too.
He's on Hush 96 as well. Yeah, so
he's got a hot album coming out. Or is that top secret?
Nah, it's coming out 2024. It's on deck. You know what I mean?
So yeah, let's get into it. So Dash, tell us about where we at, man. What we looking at?
Man, me and Johnny Van Leer put this together, put the studio together. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like you walk into Fat Albert's Clubhouse and it's, it looks like it's falling apart, but really it's like, it's just a place to make dope shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all the soundproofing is visible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not perfect, but it's perfect. It's some of the most unexpected places you can make some of the most beautiful shit in. You know what I'm saying? So this is it, man. Like, we get great mixes out of here. I had everything, the speakers and everything tuned to the room. So even when I'm just making beats, when I leave here, put it in the car, it sounds like it's supposed to sound. You know what I mean?
And to that point, everybody kind of has their own tricks and in their bag. What I've realized is with Dash, what kind of separates him is his sonic quality, right? Because he will, where most people finish the song, that's just the beginning. He'll spend threefold trying to make the mix right. And when you hear it on an album, it does separate itself. So that pocket of the album, I've noticed, just hits, and at the same time, you can hear every hi-hat, you can hear every percussion. His mixes are really, I think, the standard.
I've been here for about 5 years now. About 5 years, yeah. So, it's home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's when I'm comfortable. A lot of times I'm here by myself, banging out. I like to, when I'm making beats, I like to be by myself. Because when you're not, you always got somebody, you got too many people who are like, oh, you should do it like this or do it like that. It's like, nah, I'm going to do what comes naturally to me. You know what I mean? So that you're getting me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's home. The choice cuts, we work on everything here. Ras Kass comes here. You know what I'm saying? Digital comes here. Money Being Young Hump. I've been here a few times. You know what I mean? So shout out to Money Being Young Hump. Shout out to Raz. Shout out to Nummy Numb.
Nummy Numb.
You know what I'm saying?
Ashy Knuckle King.
Yeah, and this is where Richie, you know what I'm saying, records most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yuck mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, what I mean.
Just a lot of people come here. Shout out to Creed, Hippie Creed. Also too, shout out to I'm in like an official but unofficial crew of dudes who make some dope beats. My dude Ghost got beats. Look him up, he's fire. Banks, who's in Baltimore. They're both from Baltimore, but Ghost is out here now. Shout out to Gene Boog.
Big up, Gene
A lot of
Boog.
people, man. A lot of people that helped. When I was in Atlanta, get me to the point to where, the mixes on the beats, can be, sonically right. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It took about a year. We were working on Eli McCoy's project, and that was when we first moved in here, and we had to send mixes out all the time because it just wasn't sounding right. And then I had my boy Alex Vescotti come in here and tune everything to the room to where, you can tell when something's off. You know what I mean? So, after that, it was just like, it started being easier and easier. Well, they were originally going to drop it on COO BIZ. And it was just certain things that, we all know each other. Me and Meta were in Element together. Nothing was intentionally misunderstood, but you know what I'm saying? Just, sometimes when somebody has their own vision, you gotta let them do their own vision. You know what I'm saying? And that's what led to them doing it, dropping with it.
But he did give us 3 smackers.
Yeah.
And like, I'm curious, like what was when you made those beats? Like, I really like booby trap, cuts and the hip hop vibe. Like, what? I'm curious, like what was going through your mind when you were making that track? Did you have a vision for it? Was it gonna go somewhere?
Originally it was supposed to go to Ras Kass, and I got a
Shout out to Ras Kass.
yeah. It was originally
Big up, Ras Kass.
and Raz had already had like a bunch of beats from me, and you never know what page he's on. So it's like, I think he wanted it, but he's doing so much stuff, and he never got to it. He got to the other stuff though, and then because I would just tap Richie and be like, I got this beat. I need, because I tap Richie when I want some scratches. I'll be like, Richie, I need some ideas for what to scratch, and Richie will come up with the words, and then we'll have DJ Ethic come in, and he'll actually lay the scratches. You know what I'm saying?
So you wrote that that scratch sequence?
That's my, I used to make beats, and I haven't for a long time because people way better than me do it. But what I still have a love for is I like writing these scratch choruses. And I have like a file bank in here of all these songs since I was growing up, and I can hear. And so I did find those samples, write those samples, but Ethic's the one who made them come to life.
Yeah.
So
Dope.
Ethic's, hot, like.
Ras Kass is in that, one of those samples.
Yeah, we did use Ras Kass in 2 of them. He said, "Go into the booby trap," and then Ras says, "When I get at you."
Is Guru in there?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nowadays they all.
And then Q-Tip says, "Oh my
And
God."
when they find you,
Yeah.
The crazy thing about that was, what I did was I just held on to that, because to me it's about a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted, like, not everybody sounds right on everything, so it's about a vibe. So I just held on to it. Even the Hush 96 beat, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, what was that about? Like, can you put us on a little bit for your game?
I always listen to that song, you know what I'm saying? Till Tuesday. But is it Tuesday?
It don't even sound like it. Honestly, I never would have known that sample came from that. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of my favorite 80s songs, and so I was just like, I'm gonna just fuck with it, and that I did, and then so I just held on to that. Nobody ever heard it until you guys heard it. You know what I'm saying? But I had it for because there's a lot of shit in here that I don't let nobody listen to until somebody needs something a certain way.
How about Safe Water, the guitar riff? I noticed you make a lot of guitar riff type beats. Like, you like that vibe. Sound and everything. So
The guitar is a sample, and it's just one little piece, and then I just chopped it up and just played it the way I wanted to. It was dope, so I just built a beat around it.
One thing I noticed is when you did go to Atlanta, your sound kind of evolved, and you started mixing old sound with new sound. So you had the modern trap drums with the old the old school feel.
Right.
And then what was unique is when you made Safe Water, Hush, and Booby Trap, where you had been making all these trap type sounds, you kind of took a break and made these 3 boom bap traditional.
That was on purpose.
Yeah, and when you hit that pocket, it hit the pocket we were working on perfect, because we were looking to make an album where we reverted back to that sound.
Well, that's. I try not to. Some people can get stuck in the pocket, and then that's all that they make. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to do that. So I was like, let me go back to my roots, you know, with Element and get on some real hip hop shit. And then, so now it's easy for me to go back and forth between some trap shit and some boom bap shit. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I like to mix them a little bit. You know what I mean? So.
And it seems almost like, and I hope I'm not giving away secrets because I'm just guessing, but when I did used to make beats, there was quantized beats, and you hit the metronome would land right on the 4 count, and it seems like your beats don't exactly do that. They're more have a swing to them, and they seem more live and natural and not quantized, but in a good way.
Right. Well, I find that people a lot of times there's certain beats that should be right on the, you know what I'm saying, right on the beat, you know what I'm saying, like it should be perfect. And then there's other beats that should be more of a feel. When it's more of a feel, people go, especially when the drums are late, they go, oh shit, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
do you have a metronome when you do that, or are you playing literally by feel?
Everything starts out with a metronome, and then on the MPC, I used to make my drums really late, you know. But now I'm in Ableton, so, you know, I'll start off on the metronome, and then I don't want to say exactly what I do because I don't want to be. I do what I do to make it late, you know what I'm saying? And then it comes out sounding.
Well, that gives, I mean, lots of factors give you your own sound, but that's one I've noticed that separates you.
So you've been making beats. I heard you made a smacker for Mr. Siamese over here.
Yeah, he just got to write the second verse to it, but it's fire.
I mean, let these cats know. You know what I'm saying? Let them know who you are.
What's up with it, man? I'm your boy King Bubba Dupree, aka Siamese, aka you ain't heard about me riding through your town, boy. I'm your dope fix, pounded with the coke mix. That's that Black Magic, Pontiac G6. Got him wildin' out. That's that Nick. Put the cannon on him. I try to 50 kick. Ex-professional boxer. Siamese has always been in the rap game since since
96,
96.
93, 94.
2003 is when we had the Element album, right?
Yeah, you was on the Element album.
Yeah, Deal with No Escape. I wrote the 7-letter album, but that never took off. Some difficulties, and now I'm working on 2024. You know what I mean? That's gonna be a big, huge project. People, you won't be expecting what you're gonna hear. You know what I mean? So that's rocking right now. Yeah, I just been in the studio with Dash. You know what I mean? Dialect.
You got down with us. You got 2 tracks with us on our department.
Yeah, got the art department.
The Flow. He's on Flow with Roger That.
Yeah.
Big
Raj.
Shout out to Raj, Big Raj.
Fernie Fresh, myself and Richie and Dove. And he's also on the hook for 96, produced by Dash. So check for that, our department on all platforms. You know what I mean?
This might have gone under the radar. He said professional boxer.
Yeah.
So there's boxers, and then there's this, the highest echelon. It's like making the NFL. But here's the thing. My son, Nico, I have pictures where Bub was training Nico when he was little, and Bub kind of took him under his wing and taught him all that. And my son to this day is still boxing and likes it. So Bub's got a heart of gold. Yeah, but he's like another one of these like black belt jiu-jitsu. I asked him earlier, about if a pro boxer and pro jiu-jitsu, how would that work out, but these guys are both cut from the same cloth. They have the biggest hearts, but they're also the kind of person who could do major damage to you if you didn't know who you were messing with. So
yeah, I've changed with the likes of Andre Ward, Kendall Hawk, James Toney, Ken Shamrock, Chad Dawson, Zab Judah. You know what I mean? I've been at all of their camps. But yeah, I got my Reno tour in the fight. I was fighting Jose Puma Gonzalez for the national championship in the Fallon Royal Rumble, I believe it was. I won the WBC that day, and I just never turned back because I had a boxing gym called King's Boxing at that time. So, which I'm about to bring back to Reno. So I got a lot of things
because I was
going
helping
on.
a lot of kids.
Yeah. I got a lot of things going on, so.
He's kind of like me. He knows how to get in the room, which is important. You know what I'm saying? You can get in the room.
Yeah. What did you say about me one day that I was very,
Oh, he had audacity.
the audacity. That's right.
Like Digital Underground, because both y'all, I mean, really, all y'all been was around money being shot.
R.I.P. Shock G, man. A story that I got about Shock G is remember when we did a show in Los Angeles on Sunset.
Okay.
Remember the
Hollywood?
I forgot what club it was.
Key Club.
Or something
It was
we
a Key
did.
Club.
And it was the first time Shock came to me. He was like, look, you gonna open up everything with that No Escape. He was like, you gonna open up everything, and he gave me a platform to be heard. You know what I mean? Shock was the first person to do that. Even though I performed with Element so much, I'm just saying that he was the first person in a live, hella people, you know what I mean, actual tour show, was like, Siamese, going on up there and get your time, you know what I mean? So R.I.P. Shock G, he gave me my first little, push to get out there, and he believed in with No Escape, as well as a lot of other people, but that was the song right there.
How about you, Dash? Like, what were some things? What was it like for you working with Shock and mine and Young Hump and?
Oh man, working with Shock was crazy because in a good way, because he pretty much encouraged me to. He would always say good things about me, and as far as my production to other people, they would come tell me later on that he did. And Money B always believed in me. He always, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, shout out to Money B, man. That's my dog.
Money B.
You know what I
Same
mean?
thing with Numb. Numb always.
Cletus Mac, Essential, you know what I mean? Fifth,
Mystic.
you know what I mean? Mystic, you know what I mean?
Numb, me and him was like, we always had competition with everything. So it was like, he always thinks his beats are better than mine. Then I gotta show him, you know what I'm saying? But that's my brother, you know what I'm saying? I want to say, I gotta make sure to speak on Antonio. He's a very intricate part of COO BIZ. Antonio is the guy that, the music all goes through him. I make sure, it sounds good, but sometimes I don't have to. It goes straight to him. He uploads it to the portal for Empire Records, and he makes sure everything sounds good. And I also want to give a shout out to Bright Ware. He's always on his shit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What does Bright do? You guys talk about Bright a lot. So what are some of the things that you guys got going on? Like,
Just it's a lot of stuff that I can't speak on yet. I don't want to jinx it because it's going on. But Bright is always hustling. Bright, he was the guy that brought Miguel, the R&B singer, to the world. I mean, he got him put on. He manages David Bars.
Shout out to David Bars.
Bright is the guy that can walk into the room, or he can walk into the office of most labels. He like most people, they need an appointment, this and that. Bright just goes, tell so-and-so I'm here. That's how you talk. tell so-and-so I'm here. He skips all the business crap. He goes right to it. He has great relationships with people. So that's the thing about Bright, and he's straight up. If he don't like something, he doesn't sugarcoat nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and talk about a guy that can walk into a room, Bright, just like Dash said. He gives you another platform, and if he believes in you, he really pushes you. Like, to his point, he won't sugarcoat. He's straight up said sometimes, that's trash. Yeah. But then when you redo it, it's always, he's trying to get you to a standard because he believes in you and he's supporting you. And then Antonio...
He'll say, leave it alone.
Yeah.
He'll say, leave it alone.
Yeah, and Antonio is kind of the brains behind the production, and he's to credit for for a huge part of the success of COO BIZ.
You've been working with Antonio for a long time. You were at for Show Productions, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, Antonio was doing college out here, and it's just like we instantly became family. It's been years now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like years.
Antonio Butler.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie.
Shout out to Yuck Mouth too, man. Don't forget about my boy Regine. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, Yuck Mazy, man.
Shout out to Hippie Creed too. Hippie Creed, Zooberry. That's a lot of people, man. Like that. Cause I don't want to forget nobody.
You talk about Johnny
Big
Van.
Raj,
You talk about
Big
Johnny Van
Raj.
Leer.
Yeah.
So kind of explain the relationship with Johnny Van Leer, because he is a huge piece to our story.
Johnny is another person that can get in the room. Johnny pretty much when we back in the day when we first ran into digital, Johnny was road manager, and he was the person that, you know, like I stayed on the phone with him for like 6 months just talking to him, and finally Johnny was like, man, yeah, y'all come out to Oakland. Started had us in the studio with the Loonies, had us in the studio with Mun. This is before we became part of the Digital Underground family. Like Johnny was the introduction to that, and Johnny's always on his hustle too. You know what I mean? Johnny, he very business minded. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a numbers guy. You know what I mean? Like he's a numbers. So sometimes, you know, if it don't make sense to him, he's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he's a good dude too. So he, you know, he's part of the studio too. You know what I mean? So.
And Johnny's an incredibly successful businessman. He has business savvy, and his passion, where ours might be towards the music, his is towards the music, but from the business end. Mm-hmm. And unless you have both, it goes nowhere.
Right.
Unless you have the Bright Ware or the Antonio or the Johnny, then this means nothing.
Yeah.
Because we'll just keep making new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, talk about the remember the extra credits on Sex in the Studio. Yeah. And they should have made a patent for that Money Game, because you started seeing the Money Game all over the place after that. And if that was patented, oh yeah, we would have made money off of that. I had did remember we were on the basketball court and you did the UCLA's.
You did UCLA's, you was drinking.
Yeah. And I drank a whole bottle of Remy Ma for like $120 in like 56 seconds, was it?
Oh man,
it was
something
like
50, like that.
56 seconds. You can get that on the credit of Sex in the Studio. I believe it's Sex in the Studio 2, because they already had made one.
It was.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Cletus Mack, man. Cletus Mack is definitely.
And Sex in the Studio, for those who don't know, it was a DVD that Money B and Cletus Mack and these guys had put together. They were down in LA, and they had adult movie stars, females, and they even had some of the OG cats like Mr. Marcus and some of these cats that were pretty famous back then, and they would mix it with rappers, and they had Snoop, I think.
They had everybody, Ludacris. They had everybody in there.
Yeah, and so we did this thing called the Money Game. We would have people drink, you know, they couldn't throw up, but they had one. Well, we had they drank some dog water. It was just
It had
like crazy.
It had the dog food still in it, with like the drool floating in the water. Yeah, we were drunk it for like $100.
We were young. We was doing crazy shit. You know.
I want to say too, another thing about Money B is that like knowing Money B is great sometimes, because of him. Myself, Gene Bug, and Hippie Creed, who's like my little brother, but he's a dope artist out of Atlanta. We were on the set for All Eyes on Me, a movie about Tupac. We been eating with the stars, and you know what I'm saying? Like the same day that, well, it was a few days that we were there, but one of the days it was like everybody was there. Like I'm sitting across from Rick Ross. Naughty by Nature's outside walking around, and everybody was just flying in to sit behind the camera and just watch. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dope. So, you know, being on a movie set is not like being on the set of a video shoot. Like they literally built a city. Like, you know, the trailers for all the stars is down the street, and they got golf carts coming back and forth, bringing the actors back and forth, and the people behind the camera and stuff like that. So, you know, we're sitting down, they got a whole different setup on another part for where everybody goes to eat, you know what I mean? So we're sitting there eating, and, you know, movie sets got some good food. We're just sitting there with everybody else on the movie.
Fat ass to think about some food. Boy, I tell you what.
He's got a suede do-rag on.
Hey, to add one thing about Money B, just to add on to that, Money B is like the true. He's not just a true hip hop cat. Like, he's Oakland for sure, and he lives by the rules and the codes. He's not like a gangster to the point where he's actively participating in things. But Mun, in every city we touched down, Mun knew people in whatever that hood was. He wasn't the kind of guy that we would go right. He would take us. I've never taken me to every hood in every city. If we're in Houston, we were in the Fifth Ward, and if we were in, you know, wherever we were at in the South, and you go to these spots, it'd be like it'd have like a record store, a soul food spot. You get your hair cut, you get some trees, all in one spot, and it was like Mun knew everybody, and it was crazy because like Shock, you know, a lot of people talk about Shock and Humpty and Digital Underground's legacy and Tupac, you know, but that connection to the street, the connection to the people, the connection to the sound. Mun knew cats like Essential, and he brought a lot of cats, and technically he brought Element in because through Johnny. So it was like, you know, when Tupac was young and they were all kind of first hanging out. You listen to some of their interviews. It was like Pac would hang out with Mun when they first were coming up. So yeah, Mun's like our big brother. He taught us a lot of stuff. He taught me a lot of stuff, and I gotta send a shout out to Money B because you know, he doesn't always get the credit that he doesn't always get the credit that's a true pioneer for hip hop. That's a
Facts. That's why when they had the 50th, when they were celebrating the 50 years of hip hop and all of that kind of struck me kind of, you know, hard right there to not see Digital Underground a part of that, because they were the founders of Tupac, you know what I mean? And I felt like they should have had a huge role in that, and the fact that they left them out, that shocked me, you know what I mean? Because Money B is Money B one of the most humblest superstars I know out there, man. If Money know you, he gonna holler at you. You know what I mean?
I'll speak to that because they were all on tour with Money B while I was the fan of Money B and didn't know them. So I was in my car playing Sex Packets, and I was the one making on my boombox, you know, Kiss Me and I'll Kiss You Back over here with Run DMC tapes, and I was making my own mixes. And when we were able to do a song with Money B on the art department, to me that was bucket list, because he was somebody who was one of my absolute heroes, you know? And to speak to his humbleness and his weight, he doesn't even know me and inboxed me and you know, said good job on the album, and to me that meant the world. And then Meta said, you know, he took our song and he posted it, and all of a sudden, to speak to his weight, it multiplied times 1,000,000. You know, our reach is like here, and when Money B put it out, all of a sudden all these people who never heard us before were hearing us. So
check that song out. It's called 10 Toes, Money B and Young Hump, and shout out to Young Hump as well. Chris Clark, he played Shock and Humpty in the movie All Eyes on Me that CD was talking about, and you know, he's got a tough position too, because a lot of people give him crap for being like, you know, saying he's trying to copy Shock or Humpty. But the thing is, what y'all don't realize is Shock gave him the blessing. Shock asked him to do that, to take the crown, to take the nose and keep it alive. You know, Shock wanted, if you really knew Shock, he wanted to be a keyboard player. He wanted to be playing keyboards somewhere. You know, he was kind of like, he was chill. The Humpty character is takes a lot of energy, and it's crazy. So shout out to Young Hump for keeping it alive. And if you're a fan of true hip hop, y'all need to support Money B and Young Hump. They got some shows coming up this year. And yeah, man.
And shout out to Idle Hands who made the beat for that song.
Alright, I just want to say shout out to Choice Cuts. That's my personal group. Essential is one of the dopest lyricists. King Beef, one of the dopest lyricists. It's about the vibe. It's about the, you know what I'm saying, the mood. And they get out. You know what I'm saying? They get out. New video dropping on the 29th. You know what I'm saying? Called Blow the Dice. It's got Jay Sean on it. You know what I'm saying? He coming too with some heat. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's a lot of people that, you know, that are behind this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As far as, like I said, Ghost Got Beats. One of my favorite producers, you know, is my friend. Banks. One of my favorite producers. He's my friend. You know what I'm saying? They get out. You know what I'm saying? So be looking for that.
Did y'all perform on High Road Day?
We did. Choice Cuts, we performed at High Road Day. Had a ball doing that. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward to doing it again.
And if you ain't from the Bay Area, High Road Day is a day dedicated to the crew Hieroglyphics, which is like a monumental Bay Area crew, and you got all these different. You got, you know, Souls of Mischief is a huge group from there, and you got cats like Casual and Domino and Dale the Funky Homo Sapien, and all, I mean,
Common performed this last time too. Common, it was
it Mystic performed too?
I don't know if Mystic performed. It was 2 stages. So, but Alanis Morissette was walking around at High Road Day. You know what I'm saying? So it was a dope experience. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing that again.
Yeah, Choice Cuts, the stuff they're making, it pretty much will set the bar. And then with Rel, it's like unbelievable. I mean, it's like you can't believe there's this kind of talent.
Richie got fire too. That's gonna be coming. So, and he's been making fire. So it's you know, it's a lot going on. You know what I mean? So between Richie, Panelli, Jay Sean, Choice Cuts, COO BIZ is pretty busy right now. You know what I mean? So
That's what's up.